military honor guard, and the greeting with the president. I'm joined here in the studio in New York by Father Keith Beckler, who is our Vatican consultant, a professor in Rome of theology. And out at Andrews Air Force Base is Dan Harris, who's going to be covering this visit of the Pope for 6 days while he's here. Also, Cokie Roberts, who had an unusual story to tell as she came out to Air Force Base. What is it that the Vatican wants to do with this visit?
I think, Charlie, the Vatican very much wants to bring a word of hope, a word of encouragement to the American church. The Pope is very fond of this church. He's very grateful for the American contribution that's been made in many, many ways over the years and wants to affirm that. And particularly in light of the sexual scandals of the past 5-6 years, he wants to bring a word of encouragement, a word also of something that's asking forgiveness for what's taken place.
And Dan Harris, he brought that up on the airplane, I gather, coming over.
He did. He said in his most extensive remarks on the subject since he's become Pope, and perhaps his most extensive remarks ever, that he'd been reading the stories of the victims, and he said, and I'm quoting here, "It is difficult for me to understand how it was possible that priests betrayed in this way. Their mission was to give healing, to give the love of God to these children. We are deeply ashamed, and we will do what is possible to see that this does not happen again." Charlie, he's talking about making sure they go through the seminaries and weed out anybody with tendencies toward children. There's already been reaction to this from victims of the pre-sex abuse scandal. They're calling it too little, too late.
This is the first time there's been a papal visit to the United States since this scandal really cropped up in 2001. And so I suspect Father Beckler's probably pretty good to raise it on the plane coming over before others bring it up.
Absolutely. Of all the possible things he could have talked about, it was the most important by far. And it gets it right out on the table immediately, gives the impression, of course, that he's not avoiding the topic. And we're told he will bring it up again, Charlie, on Saturday morning at St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Cokie, how big a crowd out there?
Well, this is a military family crowd. It's about 500 families, and they seem very excited.
Now, Cokie, you had a very unusual way to get out to Andrews Air Force Base.
I did indeed, Charlie. The President and Mrs. Bush, with their daughter Jenna, invited me to ride with them in the limousine out here. The President very much wanted to talk about why he was coming out here, why he was doing this unusual step of greeting a head of state at Andrews, as you said, something he's never done before.
And what did he say? Why was he excited to do it?
He said he is a worldwide spiritual leader. Millions of citizens are excited about him being in America, and I'm doing it as a sign of respect. He is a major figure in the world. He said, I think more people listen to him than anyone else in the whole world. So he wanted to show the respect. He was interesting. He was very interesting about all of this, but he said every time he's been around the Holy Father, one or the other, the John Paul or Benedict, that he has come away a better person, that they believe in moral truths, they value life.
I'm interested, Cokie. He always talks about calling world leaders and talking to world leaders. Does President